Hey guys, what's up? It's Dan Wienberger here, CEO of Morpheus.Network, here with another exciting video for you guys. This is going to be the first AMA for 2022. Looks to be an amazing year. Very excited for it, of course. Excited for the first AMA of the year. Thank you everyone who submitted those questions. Thank you to the community managers and admins who have added some of those questions to Reddit as well. Makes it a lot easier for me to track them down as well, that they all get to the same place there. So thank you for that. So without further ado, let's get to some questions over here. So Dan, I have a question for you. For those Morpheans that doesn't run a node, what kind of hair they have? Thank you so much. Hope you have a great year. Yeah, that's a great question. And listen, if you run a node, which the new alpha and beta programs will be announced, we're very excited about those. Please do get your submissions in for those as well. But if you don't end up running a node, I guess you can ask that about almost any project that you want to get into. I would say look into the project themselves. When it comes to us, for example, look into the current clients that we have, look into the current partners that we have as well. Working with multi-billion-dollar enterprises, whether it's a federated co-op, it's one of the 50 largest companies in all of Canada. We're growing out our implementations with them as we speak. Excited about obviously the food certificate system, which we did for them already, up and running. That's an amazing solution. Using that same solution for other companies as well, but within federated co-op, doing a lot of tracing, traceability stuff with their food, helping with their sustainability goals. Really excited about FCL, as well as you see us working with companies like Gulf Tainer, one of the largest port operators in the world, the largest privately owned port operator in the world. We're lucky enough to have them as a client, and this isn't just another partner. What's amazing about Gulf Tainer is that they're a paying client implementing solutions. I will say that with a client like Gulf Tainer, what's amazing is that we get to grow out with them. Our solution gets even better day by day, learning from them, about their expertise in port operation. When I show you guys, I've actually talked with a couple of community members about the platform itself and all these amazing upgrades that we've done, working with federated co-op, working with Gulf Tainer, working with these enterprises. So I'll show you a little bit of a demo from one of these solutions here. This is a container tracking solution. Very excited for it. So let me share my screen for you. Hold on one. We have our container numbers. You can track by container number. As you see, we're logged in over here. We're going to locate our containers. So it's very easy to use. As you can see, it's a clean interface. This would be specifically for the administrator, for a port operator. They can take that container number. They can look for the specific shipping line, or do some sort of auto detection solution, which we implemented for them as well. Allows them to track their containers and all the information surrounding it, as you can see, in an automated fashion. So we're automatically selecting which shipping line based on the container number. Container details have been fetched. We can pull up the container details. That's the container number we looked at right there. Pulling up the container detail information. Administrator has access to all this information right at their fingertips. They can pull up exactly where everything was signed off, all the receiving points, all the location data, even the latitude and longitude of the receiving points themselves, the route details that was provided as well. This is straight from the carrier, so this is integrated to the carrier system. The vessel details, which vessel was carrying the container itself, all the different container events as well. When it was exported, when it was discharged, the import was discharged from the vessel. Really amazing detailed information. All could be brought in. This is for every single container number being handled through the administrator system. This information in the past would have been accessed through a different interface. They'd have to track through the actual shipping lines interface, picking which shipping line, no auto detection whatsoever. Really amazing implementation. We're really excited about that solution right there. And I'll say that, even though it's being implemented right now for an amazing company, let's say, like Gulf Tainer, one of our clients, it doesn't mean that's the only company that we're demoing this out for, only company that we're proposing this out for. We have some banks looking at this information as well. Really important for trade finance. We have a lot of different companies who are actually very excited about the specific technology. So it's exciting that we get to build it out with let's say Gulf Tainer, other companies in port operation, but also leverage that same solution for other companies as well. So if you're looking for, which sort of project to follow, which project to get into, I'd say look for, besides, what they're building, look for solutions that are being used in the real world. And right now for us, I put our project and the clients we have, the implementations we're putting in, right there, shoulder to shoulder with any project that's out there. So really excited about that. Another thing that we're doing as well, we're constantly expanding, hiring some amazing new SDRs, sales development reps as well. Going to keep on growing out, the sales team, growing up developers as well. Have some new guys that we can announce, some new hires. So very excited about that as well. So thank you for that question. Hopefully I answered, some of what you're looking for as to why to follow us, whether you hold a note or not. And also we have some exciting new blockchain partners as well, integrations with new blockchains. We'll be showing some demo videos of that stuff as well. Let's get to the next question over here. How many companies are included in the Sanasa deal? I believe it was said to be in the thousands. Revenue included in the 500K APR. How much revenue does each company generate? Great question. And yes, that is correct. There's thousands of companies across Argentina that are impacted by the new regulations, how to be compliant with the phytosanitary regulations and traceability in Argentina. I will say that COVID has pushed back a lot of these amazing implementations. We're very excited about it, but at the same time, we have to take it step by step. I will say that these thousands of companies at this moment are not compliant with the new regulations that have been put out there. As I mentioned, COVID does push back a lot of these sort of projects. But once again, because thousands of companies need to be, moved over to the new system, very excited to be part of that. Also, another part of that question as well, when it comes to, let's say, the companies involved with the Sanasa deal in Argentina, the phytosanitary tracking system. When it comes to also, for example, Gulf Tainer, a lot of our revenue that we generate, the majority of revenue that we generate right now, doesn't come through transactions running through the platform. That is, the reason we're working, the reason we're, sort of building out the business dev team, the reason we're growing as a business is to push transactions through the platform. That is, the number one reason, that we want to implement for companies is have running solutions for these companies. Now, when it comes to Gulf Tainer, for example, getting those integrations all set up, going through the sales process, going through the proposal process as well, getting those accepted as well, and then hitting your targets, hitting your goals with that proposal. We're in the state of implementation right now. So if you're asking how many transactions have been run through the platform through our work with Gulf Tainer at the moment, actually zero. No actual transactions have been run through the platform at this state because we're still in the implementation phase. Same thing could be said about the companies in Argentina for the Sanasa project. We have the solution in place. We've actually built all, different parts of the solution for other implementations. But when it comes to the Sanasa deal in particular, there have been no transactions actually run through the platform itself. Any sort of payment or revenue that we've generated through our resellers, let's say with the Morpheus.Network, that has, not been attributable to transactions running through the platform itself at this point. So we're building towards that, obviously, as time goes on. That is the reason that we're putting these solutions in. As Gulf Tainer gets up and running, they're going to be running a ton of transactions to the platform. And that is, not only a part of us, generating revenue, but having that recurring revenue based on transactions in the platform, something that's sustainable, something that will keep on working for these companies as they run their businesses, that will push transactions through the platform. That is what we're building towards. So, having these clients like Gulf Tainer helping us with our bills, paying us revenue for whether it's consulting, whether it's development fees, whatever's involved, what they're paying us prior to the actual transactions, the actual SaaS fees and transactions running through the platform, and that's up and running, is just amazing. It allows us to grow out, gain this reputation, build out our client base as well, really find our niche, really hone our marketing. So it does buy us, in a sense, a lot of time and builds a tremendous base for the company as well. Now, when it comes to company metrics, the fees that we sort of attain through, let's say, consulting and development fees and so on and so forth, it doesn't help us as a company to make everything public. When we're approaching a new company in different geographies in the world, would it make sense for us to say this is what the average consulting fee would be? If it's a larger sort of project for that company, we're quoting it higher, they're thinking that we're giving them bad pricing. So pricing and the revenue we generate from these individual deals, I see here, it asks how much revenue from each company is generated. A lot of that stuff does have to remain private. we will put out obviously demos and talk about the projects as much as we can. Probably give you some more information than we're supposed to in a sense at times with these demos, but we're excited about it. I love talking about them as well. So when is there going to be improvements to the communication with the community? Great question. We do try to remain as regular as possible when it comes to communication. We have regular blog updates, regular AMAs that we try to do as well. We do have some amazing community managers as well. So we do try to, communicate as much as we can. What I'll do personally is try to put out more demos for the community to show the growth in the platform as well. And one thing that we discussed, which I think we can do, which would be very cool, would be a live map, basically showing transactions being run by different companies, different places all around the world, different geographies. And you can see sort of a live map with all this, sort of data, springing up. So really excited about that. I think that's going to be a really cool sort of way to show, the sort of live transactions as they go along. Similar to sort of a dashboard that's been requested as well, which at the same time we'll have to implement at the right time that it makes sense. So we're very excited, obviously, as well about our compliments when it comes to the various awards that we won in 2021, whether it was with Golftainer, part of the Entrepreneurship World Cup, all these different, sort of validating experiences for us, and the amazing contacts we've made. Expect more of that in 2022. Our platform is just so beautiful to look at, so demoable, that I think a lot of companies can relate to what we're trying to do because they feel that pain in supply chain. So we're very excited about that as well. But yes, when it comes to communication, we will put out more demos, communicate more often as much as we can. And I will say that we're not, in a sense, not trying to communicate. I was speaking to one community member about it, and we had, I think it was a dozen or 16 different, new Medium posts in the last quarter, trying to be as regular as possible with that. And at the same time as, the feeling was that we weren't communicating enough. So try to get something out every single week at least. We are obviously pushing as hard as we can when it comes to a business dev standpoint. A lot of stuff we do, whether it's under NDA, whether it's in the stage of implementation, we have to communicate at the right time. So thank you for that question. How many nodes do you consider enough for decentralized M&W? That's a great question. I feel like the amount of nodes will just increase over time. The number of nodes that we have for the alpha and beta programs right now are not set in stone. At the moment, based on the alpha beta program, the discussions that we have to make it as decentralized as we need it to be would be about 1,800 nodes. 1,800 nodes, 1,800 tokens per node. That would give us a good amount of decentralization for those ZK proofs to test the program out, test the solution out, so that we go live based on transactional volume in the future. As transactions are processing through using these nodes, they're being compensated properly as well. Nothing set in stone when it comes to the percentages that we're giving out, which are in my mind very generous. I see some other questions here about 19% stable farming. Listen, I don't know too much about that sort of stuff. I know that when it comes to what we're doing with Morpheus, this is real world business we're building towards. These zero knowledge proof sort of solutions that we're putting out there for these companies to process their transactions with zero knowledge, is just a revolutionary technology in a sense, right? So we want the system to be as stable and strong as possible, and that's why we have this alpha and then beta program as well. The beta program being a lot wider, allowing a lot more token holders to get involved at this stage, receiving compensation directly from us as a company, as a team. And then later on, obviously being a part of the actual real world business connected to those, so those nodes specifically allowing zero knowledge based on the test that we can run at this stage. So really thank you for those questions. And I hope that fills in some of the information that this is the test stage with alpha and beta. And any further information when it comes to the implementation of nodes, percentage of, transactional volume, that would be compensation for those nodes as well. Look for that in announcements. Obviously, we'll be coming out with all that information, of course. All right. Next question was about APR versus ARR, recurring revenue versus all the revenue that we attain. That's a great question. Sort of brushed upon that before as well. When it comes to, these sort of implementations in the projects right now, even when it comes to our resellers, which was a question here, what revenue is attributed to resellers, which is about 10% of our revenue. It comes from the resellers. We look to scale that up, in a big way in 2022 as well as 2023. But when it comes to comparing the platform revenue with the recurring revenue versus what we get from, sort of consulting, implementation, like I said, again, we're building up towards, having a huge amount of transactions in the platform, but at the current state, we make more funds and more revenue from consulting and the implementations themselves than we do through the solutions running through the platform at this moment. Excuse me. Will there be geographic restrictions for node operators? Would the US, UK, Canada be allowed? That's a great question. And of course, I'm not a lawyer. We have a great legal team, and that will be announced as the zero knowledge nodes are put out there, alpha and beta. For general token holders, we'll have those sort of restrictions that are put in place. We'll say that obviously regulations are constantly changing. We're seeing a lot of regulation adjustments on a daily basis, it seems like nowadays. So we'll see when we're able to publish those terms of service, who will be restricted and who will be permitted, and hopefully whoever put this question out, that you're in one of the permitted areas as well. So thank you for that. There are network system fees, consultant fees, other fees charged to real customers. Are the fee distributed masternode include everything for the business, or just part of it, and part of which part of it? Which one? Of which one? Okay. Yes, the compensation for the zero knowledge proof nodes will come from transactional volume to the platform. So things like consulting fees, those are actually being used in order to consult for companies and allowing us to sort of grow out the implementations so we can get to those transactions running through the platform, what the zero knowledge proofs are actually being used for. So when it comes to development fees and all the revenue the company makes in order to pay its expenses, that's what they're used for, those expenses, in order to build up the sustainable revenue through the SaaS fees, the platform transactions, and that specifically, that transactional volume is what the node operators will be compensated on. So specifically transactional volume. Really appreciate that question as well. And all that ties in together, obviously. So the more revenue the company makes, the more obviously transactions are being run through the platform, the more consulting we do, the more projects, the more proposals we can put out there in order to implement solutions that will push transactions to the platform as well. As you can see, that's all related together. We're not taking in consultancy fees without the final goal not being transactional volume. That is the goal, is to run these transactions, run the supply chain through the platform. You just got to follow those proper sales process steps. If we're being paid to consult, I guess the solution that we're advising, it's definitely related to end up being that final goal of transactional volume. So thank you for that as well. Okay, how is the Doge One project with GEC progressing? What can you tell us more about it? We'll say that that just happened at the end of last year. Sam Reed, with GEC, is a fantastic guy, an absolute genius. We've kept in touch throughout the holiday season. I did end up contracting COVID when I went away to Florida with my family. So I had to spend an extra 2 weeks in Florida. So I was there for about a month. We talked throughout it as well. Really great guy. He's working on a million things at once, as we are as well. So, no new news on it at this point, but expect lots of information on it in the coming year, 2022. So thank you for that. All right. What will the current requirements be for node operation? That as well will be clearly announced. We'll have all that information. We'll keep it as simple as possible. It'll be minimum requirements. We're not going to make you guys spend an arm and a leg to get these up and running, but it might be a finger or so. So, all right. Next question. How many applicants have there been? We've had close to 1,000 applications come in already. Really excited about that. Absolutely fantastic reception to this beta sign up, alpha and beta node sign up. And yes, we're going to come out with the criteria for holding a node, the criteria for being selected for a node as well. I think that's a whole part of it over here. Will be competitive to expect. Yes, when it comes to those validator nodes, all that information will be announced as well within the next node announcement, expected this quarter, of course, 2022, first quarter. If selected to run a node, when token node is sent on a weekly, monthly, or quarterly basis. We do have control over this, obviously, as a team. What we've decided at this state, which we can change down the line, will be a quarterly, payout, quarterly compensation for the node holders. But yes, at this point, we are able to set it down the line, but yes, quarterly at this point. In regards to NDAs in place with clients, do you confirm a general timeline? No, we don't. Obviously, when it comes to any one of our clients, whether it's a client under NDA, where they're a client that we're finishing an implementation, then we want to announce it after the implementation's up and running, and we have a beautiful case study related to that client as well. We want to announce these things, right? It just has to be done at the proper time. We have some amazing clients, amazing enterprise clients, companies, top 3 food and beverage company as a client. When it comes to Federated Co-op and all the different suppliers related to Federated Co-op as well. So much room to grow within Federated, but also different companies connected to them as well. So yes, we will have a ton more announcements in 2022. I think we announced some pretty amazing real world companies that are leveraging the platform as we speak. But yes, looking to scale up more clients, more announcements, more demos, more revenue for the company as well, more transactions of the platform. The release, full release of the alpha and beta program for token holders as well, all in the first half of 2022 for all this stuff. So I'm really excited about the year to come. Any other questions that I didn't get to? I feel like I covered a lot of these. There are a couple repeat questions as well. But yes, feel free to reach out to the team. I do try to respond to everybody, whether it's Telegram or email, whatever it is. Getting some great people writing out to want to be, become part of our marketing efforts as well. Some great people reaching out to become, MNSPs, Morpheus.Network service providers and partners, global service providers as well. So look out for more partners, got projects with governments expanding as well. Really exciting stuff on that. And besides that, guys, as always, happy 2022. Have a great day.